Today in the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, we're gonna go through what happened last night SmackDown with Jey Uso and the Bloodline. Is this the end of the Bloodline? Plus, CM Punk drama still continues. We're gonna be talking about that and what's gonna happen, the possibility what's gonna happen tonight, AEW Collision. Plus, we're gonna go through AEW Dynamite from last Wednesday. We're gonna do some feedback on that. We're gonna have that and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Top guy in.
We came out here to tell you to your face, you can't get ready for us. No, sir.
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One from New York City, and today we're here for episode 146 on the YouTube channel. If you guys are really watching this on YouTube, and this, of course, will be in the audio podcast available on all audio podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, or Apple iTunes, whatever you want to call it. Any Apple podcast is in it. Anyway, let's begin. You guys can find me anywhere, wherever you want to catch me. But anyway, let's talk about what's going on in WWE. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is what happened last night with Jey Uso. Everybody thought that he probably was going to end up joining the Bloodline. But the minute he went into that ring last night, I didn't even know that he had issues with the wise man, Paul Heyman, because that was the first thing he told Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns asked him, "Are you in or you out?" The people want to know. He said, "You tell me." He said, "It's either him or me." And he pointed at Paul Heyman. So I didn't know that there was an issue with Paul Heyman, but it looks like the Usos' problem was also that, you know, um, Roman Reigns listened more to Paul Heyman than his cousin, and when it comes to certain suggestions or whatever. But last night, and let me tell you something. Last night I was in the House of Glory. I wasn't able to watch SmackDown, live, because I was on the House of Glory event last night. We're gonna do a little review on that. Um, and I saw the video on Instagram where Jey Uso super kick Roman Reigns. I said, "Oh my, what?" I'm like, "What? What the hell happened?" So as soon as I got home, I went into my DVR and went to the last part of the SmackDown show and saw what happened. And it looked like at that moment that Jey Uso was going to turn on Jimmy. He told him, "You're out. You're out of the bloodline." You know, but I could tell something didn't smell right because in the beginning, you see Paul Heyman worry, praying that Roman Reigns don't listen to Jey Uso to keep him around. Well, Roman Reigns made a point. He said he's my wise man. He's not the Bloodline's wise man. He's not Solo Sokol's wise man. Jimmy or Jay's. Well, this is my wise man. He said when you become tribal chief, you can pick whoever you want. Once he said that, but then when followed that up by saying he wasn't ready, that was a problem right away. I knew something was gonna. Jimmy came in. Jimmy tried to reason with Jay, told him, "Don't listen to this garbage. He's lying to you." But Roman, being Roman, always find ways to try to stir the pot between the Uso brothers. But this time, it backfired because once Jay got on the mic, and supposedly he was told by Roman that Jimmy didn't want him to be the right hand man to Roman. Jimmy pretty much, was shocked when Jay was like, "Well, what you mean? You didn't want me to be the right hand man?" And Jay pretty much told him that he main evented in SmackDown, WrestleManias, all this. And sure enough, he kicked him out. So we thought. He kicked out Jimmy out of the bloodline, but kicked himself out also, and he super kicked Roman Reigns. And the rest is history. You guys saw it last night. And I was shocked because I'm like, wow, they really taking this to the point where, you know, it's going to be Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns to go against the Usos. You know what I'm saying? Never mind that Roman hasn't defended that belt in more than 30 days. He hasn't defended that belt since WrestleMania 39. Now they're going to make it a tag team situation where the Usos are going to go against Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. Now, my thing is, I can't see Roman Reigns being alone with just Solo Sikoa. Something's got to happen. Now, my feeling is there's a possibility that Jacob Fatu may show up in WWE. I don't know how much time he got on his major league wrestling contract, MLW, but I'm sure that it's not long. And MLW has not been doing that great. I mean, you got your fans. I'm not gonna knock it. I stopped watching MLW when they kept doing this Mexican wrestling one week, and then it wasn't Mexican wrestling another week, and then Alex Hammerstone has had that belt for God knows how long, and it's not the same when I used to watch it. It's different. But I won't be surprised. I will not be surprised if Jacob Fatu comes in as a bigger reinforcement. You know, because I mean I can't see Roman Reigns being by himself. Solo Sikoa is going to end up sooner or later. Solo Sikoa is going to turn on him because blood is thicker than water. Yeah, they are cousins, but the Usos are his brothers, and it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time that this was going to happen. Now, my question again, and I've been saying this for months: what is going to happen when that Bloodline storyline is over? Will WWE be having the numbers they're getting now for these shows? I mean, Raw did horrible supposedly this past week and whatnot. They're not doing great. And people, I love how people like to say, "Oh, WWE is this," and then you got the AEW haters they're dying. They're waiting for the AEW to die in a miserable grave. You know that. But let's be realistic. You gave the belt to Roman Reigns. He's been holding it for 3 years, and here's another problem that I have. Okay, when it comes to those belts, why is Roman Reigns walking around with 3 belts? I thought by him winning or getting the undisputed heavyweight title, that those 2 other belts will not be seen on TV. But apparently, you have Paul Heyman still walking around with the Universal and the World title. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns has the undisputed belt. And that word undisputed has been thrown around the last month because we saw this past Monday, Rhea Ripley is no longer the SmackDown champion. She's now the WWE Women's World Champion, which makes Asuka the WWE Undisputed World Champion. Again, that word undisputed being thrown around in WWE. And it's been said, and there's reports going around that it's driving people crazy in WWE. Who has come up with this? I'm sure that has to do with Vince. And I don't know if this is true or not, but someone told me that this week Vince McMahon was remote and would change the Raw program, and Triple H went and changed it around. I don't know how true this is. I don't have the facts. I don't know, and I don't care because this is like now there's a power struggle between Vince McMahon and Triple H when it comes to creativity. Okay, and if you think about it in reality, all these wrestlers that Triple H brought back, they have not done anything that would make us like, oh, cool, they brought him back. Where's Johnny Gargano? Now I'm seeing that you got Seth Rollins going to NXT, being challenged by Braun Breaker. So NXT is now the third brand because they know that their brand, the wrestlers that gone down there, they're not ready for the big time. So now they're bringing regular Raw talent or SmackDown talent to go down there and be part of the show. If that's not a problem, yes, it is. I'll tell you that much. I don't know how much more we're gonna have this type of thing going on when it comes to um, you know, uh, WWE. Jey Uso, according here to Wrestle Talk, supposedly broke his silence and whatnot. He took social media following the shocking events that transpired in the closing segments of Friday's SmackDown. In the final moments of the show, Jey Uso stated that he's out of the bloodline before dropping Roman Reigns with the super kick, as we said earlier. And pretty much, Jimmy Uso sided with Jey Uso in the dual floor solo Sikoa Roman Reigns again with a double super kick. The live broadcast ended with the two brothers standing over Roman Reigns in the ring. Jey Uso has now taken to the Instagram to share a backstage video from the Astro show with him and Jimmy hugging and telling each other they got each other's back. So if you guys want to go check that out, go check that out. But let me tell you, it was, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy, but we'll see. Also, now let's talk about CM Punk. CM Punk this week, there was word that he did an ESPN interview. The word was that going around in a lot of these dirt sheets that um he buried the elite. Now, sources and people that I listened to were saying that's impossible. It looked like Fightful Select and Sean Ross Sapp are there to beat up on CM Punk. They can't leave this man alone. But they said that, but according to this person, they said that when he did this interview, there were AEW officials there, making sure that he did not say anything that would jeopardize tonight's debut of AEW Collision. You know what I'm saying? They did a vignette this week on Dynamite with him saying that he has a lot to take out of his chest. He has a lot to say. So we don't know what he's going to say out there, but there's a lot of other stuff, you know, a lot of reports coming in, and Wrestle Talk had a couple of them. Here's one that says CM Punk reviews why he told Tony Khan after All Out incident. So pretty much, he shared his grievance. You know, let me put it this. Let me see if I say. He said the Punk's comments on the issues with Pace specifically, but about the incident situation in general. Punk said the first thing I said to Tony when I sat down with him and I spoke to him after, it was, "Man, I'm really sorry I put you in that position. I apologize for the scrum. But when you watch the scrum, you're looking at a very, very frustrated guy who had told people. That's not the first time he heard all that. It's not the first time lawyers were told all that. And I was just looking for something to be done and nothing got done. So if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself." So he took matters in his own self, in his hand. And it just didn't approach in the right manner, but tension was high. I was very, very pissed. Pretty much knew that I had just injured myself again. I was hurt and I was disappointed. Yeah, it's very easy for me to say I regret that and I handled it the wrong way 100%. Despite all the uproar it caused, Punk doesn't believe what happened was actually that big of a deal. I don't think what happened was a big deal. This was happened in the last 10 months in hockey and basketball and baseball. It's just about every sport. And it covered and it's gone the next day. I think because I have injured my tricep and I've been out for so long, I think it has been exaggerated. I think it's been exaggerated by people spreading lies about the whole thing. And when in reality, my attitude is, well, shit happens. Punk will make his return tonight at Collision, but has not spoken to Paige, Kenny Omega, or the Young Bucks about the issue because he's been told he's not allowed to. And they expect it to be kept completely separated from him. There you go. So they're keeping him away from, you know, everybody. But like I said, there was rumor going around saying that he buried the elite at an ESPN interview. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but you know, it's crazy. But like I said, this whole CM Punk, it's been 10 months this has happened. 10 months. You know, there's another report here saying that CM Punk breaks silent about issues with Hangman Page, was worried Page will intentionally try to hurt him. CM Punk had broken his silence, supposedly, and he said, and this was in an interview with ESPN. Here you go. In a new interview, Punk has spoken about the match. He said, and I proceed to have what I think is a garbage match because I'm trying to protect myself on stuff instead of actually just working and trying to put the best performance I can. I don't remember seeing the match being garbage. I don't know. I'm keeping an eye out. He chopped me in the mouth one time, and I'm just like, okay, did you do that on purpose? You chipped my tooth, and I'm like, all right, should I give him a receipt? It changes the dynamic. It poisons everything for me, and it made it all really, really ugly. And that's what set all this off. And here we are over a year later, and ain't shit been done about it. Oh, Punk said his relationship with Paige and the rest of the league has been solid one previously, with Punk even checking on Paige when Paige had COVID-19. So it's crazy. It's like I said, it's stuff that I don't understand why it happened. You know what I'm saying? It's just something. It doesn't make no sense. I don't know. But moving along real quick, AEW this week, Dynamite was awesome. That's all I got to tell you right now. It was awesome. As far as the whole show, they started off the show with MJF versus Adam Cole, a great match. Maybe your people want to disagree with me, but I found that it was a great match. The ending kind of reminded me of the Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega of September of 2021 when they fought in Grand Slam. There was no winner, there was a draw, and we never got another Omega versus Danielson for the AEW title. This is pretty much how it happened. Now, mind you, the last week I was on Instagram Live and I said, why is AEW pulling the trigger so fast on an MJF Adam Cole match when it's not even November? Because that's the way I'm looking at it. You know, MJF's contract I believe, is ending in January or February in 2024. So my question was, like, why is this happening? So I'm like, are they pushing for a world title already for Forbidden Door or Fight for the Fallen or Fighter Fest? But when they had this match, they had an AEW World Title Eliminator, which I completely forgot about that. So the winner of that was supposed to get a shot at the world title. Well, actually, if Adam Cole beats MJF, he'll get a shot at the world title. Well, the way it ended with Adam Cole using the world title after MJF tried to cheat in so many ways. And when I even tried to hit Adam Cole with the ring, after getting hit with his own belt, Adam Cole almost beat MJF on Wednesday, but the bell rang and it was a draw. And Adam Cole asked MJF 5 more minutes. MJF just took a walk. So now we have probably a long storyline coming up from now for the next 5 months. What's gonna happen? We're just gonna have to sit back and enjoy the whole process. You know what I'm saying? And now that MJF is was told this past Wednesday that he is to face Hiroshi Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. MJF said, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting in the ring with no guy from a little inky dink promotion from Japan. I'm not doing it." Well, he's gonna end up wrestling Tanahashi. I still see him being Tanahashi somewhere or the other, but you know. Then we have supposedly Sonata, who came out this week looking for a challenge for whoever wanted to challenge him for the IWGP World Champion, and Jungle Boy pretty much uh, took the challenge. He answered the challenge. I'm not too happy with the Jungle Boy versus Sonata. Not to knock Jungle Boy, but I feel that Jungle Boy, I think he's going to turn heel. I have this feeling he's going to turn heel sooner or later. He's going to turn heel. I don't know. I can see it. I can see it happening. And he's going to turn on Hook and whatnot. So I see it happening. But I don't see. Uh, on paper, if you see Sonata versus Jungle Boy, it may not be good because of the caliber that Sonata is. He's a, a superstar, a great talent. For those who don't know nothing about Sonata, he's he's one of the best in Japan. Okay, and he's the world champion over there. So who knows? Maybe Jungle Boy and him bring down the house. Never know. We also saw Sting and Chris Jericho confront each other after Sammy Guevara had a promo going on, and Darby came in and kind of like, you know, told Sammy, look, the people look like they're liking you because you're about to have a baby and this and that. Jericho interfered in that interaction between Darby and Sammy. Sammy looks like he's on his way out from the JAS and whatnot. And all of a sudden, Jericho tried to intimidate and Sting came out. So first time ever, we saw Sting and Chris Jericho face one another. Jericho, of course, trying to play mind game, put his bat on Sting's throat. Sting returned the favor and whatnot with his own big black bat. So now we're gonna see a tag team coming up with Darby Allin and Sting versus Sammy Guevara and Jericho. And I see Sammy Guevara turning on Jericho, and we may see probably a classic. We're gonna probably see Sting versus Chris Jericho. That should be good and whatnot. I'll pay for that. See those two Hall of Famers go at it and whatnot. Future Hall of Famers. Well, Sting is a Hall of Famer already, but remember, Sting is about to retire, so never know. That's gonna be a good one. We also saw Zack Sabre Jr. pop out of nowhere. Um, though Danny Garcia interfered in the interview where Orange Cassidy was being interviewed by Renee or Renee Duquette, whatever her name is now. Renee and Zack Sabre Jr. kind of challenged OC for the AEW International Championship, but Danny Garcia came in and he was like, "Oh, you know, I want to challenge him," but now it seems like it's going to be a tag team. We're going to have Shibata and Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Danny Garcia. That's going to be a cool match. I don't know if it's going to happen next week for the whole go home show, but we'll definitely see. For the most interesting part out of this whole AEW Dynamite show on Wednesday was the match between Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. The ending of that match, we saw Eddie Kingston return back to AEW. Now my mind was like, okay, what is he doing? I thought he went to Ring of Honor. But apparently he still has issues with Claudio, and Claudio's still the Ring of Honor World Champion, even though he's in AEW Dynamite. Um, so he kind of went after Claudio, but then there was a meeting of John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. You see the Young Bucks trying to break them up. I don't know why, but try to break them up, and Moxley and Eddie Kingston almost went at it onto Konosuke Takeshita, came in and attacked Eddie Kingston from behind. He attacked everybody. Kenny Omega came out. Omega went at it with Takeshita. But out of nowhere, from the crowd, we saw Will Ospreay come into the ring and lay out Kenny Omega. The signs are there. I could see Kenny Omega losing the IWGP title because of Takeshita. I'm telling you that right now. Konosuke Takeshita is going to cost Kenny Omega the IWGP United States title when it comes to Forbidden Door next Sunday. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, I see it happening, but this show was, oh my God, this show was the bomb. We saw Sky Blue get a title shot against Tony Storm. Did very well. Can't complain. We saw the Willow Nightingale, the New Japan Openweight Women's Champion, come and save Sky after she got attacked by Ruby Soho and Tony Storm. So it was a great show. And again, one of the best shows that AEW has done. Not one of the best show in AEW history. I'm gonna put it that way. I mean, I was like, I liked the whole show. I mean, I haven't felt like that since they first started. So if they continue to do this, I'm telling you, it will be great for pro wrestling. Forget about sports entertainment because it seems like sports entertainment is just WWE is doing anything just to grab any kind of audience. Put it that way. But when it comes to pro wrestling, everything is great. It's great. Real quick, House of Glory last night. The House of Glory show was pretty good. Last night, what was it called? Plata o Plomo. So it was a good show. Um, and let me tell you something. The stuff that's gonna come out, okay, it's gonna come out on August 18th. High Intensity, the anniversary show for House of Glory. I mean, it's crazy. They had last night the card. They had Nolo Kitano, the Ghetto Samurai, and whatnot. And disregard this damn stupid music from that came out. Uh, Kitano defeated Mike Speedball Bailey. Now, Speedball Bailey, I'm not a big fan of his. I think he's overrated a little bit. But I was surprised that Kitano ended up beating Bailey in this match because I thought Bailey was going to win. It was a great match. I can complain. Cash Flow Inc. Encore and Camp Broadway defeated the Black Hand, Blackman, and Michael Fain, and the Project Mayhem, Elijah Eden, and Osito. The HOG Women's Championship, Ultraviolet defeated Kamar. I don't know why they put this match. I mean, it was. I am not crazy about no Ultraviolet. I mean, at all. We saw Alex Shelley, the Impact World Champion, get in the ring with Mighty Mike Tequila, defeating him because of Nolo Kitano interfering in that match. Then we had HOG Cruiserweight Championship. Joy Silver, Sweet Cheeks defeated Darren Richards, Raheem Royal, and Bad Rutin. Um, I think in that match they forgot to put that they had Jay Bougie in that match. Yeah, my man Jay Bougie was in that match, making his House of Glory debut. I was happy to see him in there. The HOG Crown Jewel Championship, El Hijo del Vikingo, the AAA Mega Champion, defeated Charles Mason via disqualification. Mason still retained the title, and uh, uh, Solomon Monster, who is the commissioner of HOG, told Mr. Charles Mason that he's going to have a match with Eddie Kingston on August 18th on High Intensity. Eddie Kingston making his return to House of Glory on the 18th on High Intensity. Then we had Matt Cardona defeated Carlito via disqualification, and Cardona retained the title. And it was this was a pretty good show. It wasn't bad, but I can't wait for the 18. Hiroshi Tanahashi is going to make his debut in House of Glory, and Eddie Kingston. So if you guys are in the New York City area, anywhere in the New York City area, you could go and check that out. It'll be great. It'll be great because I mean, you guys gonna have a lot of fun. I always have fun. Again, I was able to meet Carlito in person. Uh, took pictures with Hijo de Vikingo, Elijah Eaton, and Osito. Took pictures with them. So and saw my guys main event. You know what I'm saying? It's a fun atmosphere when you go to House of Glory. You get to see the wrestlers walking around. You shake hands with them and all that stuff. So it's pretty good. You can't listen. You can't ask for nothing better than that. But it was nice to see my boy Jay Bougie make his debut in House of Glory. So we'll see what happens. So that is it for me today, guys, and that is it for the show. But if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm most of the time on Twitter, giving my feedback and my thoughts on any event that's going on. Also, guys, you want to follow me on the YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, hit that that thumbs up. It will help the channel greatly and whatnot. Again, also if you guys want to go and follow me in TikTok, I was on TikTok. Also, I have a merchandise store called tcwr.veryinc.com. That's tcwr.veryinc.com. We got hats, we got t-shirts, we got hoodies. You go in there again. That's tcwr.veryinc.com. We are available on YouTube and any audio podcast platform again. And also, this recording. You guys could hear it through the audio podcast also. If you want to check it out. If you don't have time to look at YouTube or anything, that's where you find it. But again, I am the Ultimate One from New York City and whatnot. And again, I want to thank those who continue to support my podcast, and hopefully, you continue to do so. Until then, guys, be safe, and I'll see y'all guys next week.